What if all the people on Earth had an IQ lower than 30? How would society function? What would happen to technology, culture, and human progress? Today we're exploring this extreme scenario, where intelligence as we know it is virtually non-existent. Get ready for a journey into a world that challenges the very fabric of civilization. First, let's clarify what an IQ of 30 really means. The intelligence quotient, or IQ, is a measure of cognitive abilities compared to the general population. An average IQ score is around 100, with the majority of people scoring between 85 and 115. An IQ below 30 indicates profound intellectual disability, where individuals may struggle with basic communication, problem-solving, and self-care. In this scenario, we're imagining a world where every human being is at this level of cognitive function. People with such severe intellectual challenges would require significant support to perform even the simplest tasks. This would fundamentally change how society is structured, as most aspects of daily life, work, and governance would be beyond the population's understanding. In a world where everyone has an IQ below 30, society as we know it would be radically different. Daily life would be reduced to the most basic routines: eating, sleeping, and simple forms of communication. Complex social structures, like governments, educational systems, and economies, would either not exist or be drastically simplified. Caregivers would play a central role in maintaining daily life, helping individuals with basic needs. Since most people would lack the cognitive ability to understand complex tasks, there would be little to no technological advancement. Life would be more akin to that of early human societies, where survival is the primary focus. Communication would be limited to the most basic forms, perhaps relying heavily on gestures, facial expressions, and simple sounds. Language as we understand it might not develop beyond a few essential words or signs. The technological landscape of this world would be almost unrecognizable. Complex machines, computers, and other advanced technologies would be far beyond the understanding of the population. Instead, people might rely on simple, manually operated tools, assuming they can even understand how to use them. Without the intellectual capacity to maintain or develop new technology, infrastructure would quickly decay. Cities might become ghost towns, with only the most rudimentary shelters and tools remaining in use. The economy, if it exists at all, would be based on barter and simple trade, with no concept of money, contracts, or large-scale production. Agriculture would revert to the most basic forms, with people farming by hand using simple tools. Food production would likely be limited, leading to small, self-sufficient communities rather than large, interconnected societies. Governance in this world would be extremely basic, if it exists at all. Traditional concepts of law, order, and leadership would be absent, as these require a certain level of cognitive function to establish and enforce. Instead, small groups might operate on instinctual or basic social rules, similar to early human tribes. Leadership might emerge based on physical strength, age, or basic survival skills rather than intellectual ability. Decision-making would likely be communal, with the group following the lead of those who demonstrate the most basic survival skills. Without complex institutions, society would be focused purely on survival. Education, healthcare, and other social services would not exist as we know them. Instead, knowledge would be passed down through simple observation and imitation, with each generation learning only the most essential survival skills. Cultural expression in this world would be incredibly limited. Art, music, literature, and other forms of cultural output require a certain level of cognitive ability and creativity. In a world with an average IQ below 30, these activities would be simplistic, perhaps limited to basic forms of expression, like rudimentary drawings, simple rhythmic sounds, or basic storytelling. Human progress as we understand it would come to a halt. Innovation, scientific discovery, and technological advancement would be impossible. Society would remain in a state of stagnation, with no development beyond the most basic survival strategies. Over time, this lack of progress would result in a static world, where each generation lives much the same way as the last. There would be no concept of history, future planning, or long-term goals. The human experience would be reduced to a simple, repetitive cycle of basic survival. Finally, let's consider the ethical and philosophical implications. A world where everyone has an IQ below 30 raises profound questions about the nature of humanity. What does it mean to be human if we lack the ability to reason, to create, or to connect on a deeper level? In such a world, the concepts of empathy, compassion, and community support would take on new importance. Without intellectual abilities, humans might rely more on instinctual emotions and basic social bonds to maintain their communities. The role of caregivers and protectors would be central, as these individuals would help ensure the survival of others. However, without higher cognitive functions, moral and ethical systems as we know them might not develop. Survival instincts would dominate, leading to a world where actions are guided by immediate needs rather than long-term considerations or abstract principles. In a world where everyone has an IQ below 30, humanity would face a vastly different existence. Life would be simplified to its most basic elements: survival, instinct, and simple social interactions. Progress, innovation, and complex culture would be non-existent, and society would revert to a primal state. This thought experiment challenges us to appreciate the complexity and richness of human intelligence and the societies we've built. It reminds us that our cognitive abilities are a cornerstone of our humanity, driving everything from technological advancement to ethical reasoning. While this scenario is purely hypothetical, it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of nurturing and valuing the cognitive and creative potentials that define us as humans. Thank you for watching.